So for the last video, we will be talking about how to make a graph using Google Spreadsheets. It is very easy, but there are a lot of options, and so sometimes it gets overwhelming when there's a lot of options. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to get rid of here the averages. I don't need those for my data. Okay, for you, you are going to use the averages. Here, though, I'm just going to show you how to make a graph with the information that I've provided for Supermaxi, for TS, for Santa Maria. So the first step is to highlight all of your table. So the table that you want to make a chart or make a graph out of, you have to highlight all of those cells. So first step, highlight the cells. Second step is that you're going to go up here into the where it says File, Edit, View, all of those options, and we go Insert. When you're at Insert, we're going to go all the way down here to where it says Chart. So it's not going to say Graph, it will say Chart. We click on Chart, and it's going to come up with whatever the computer thinks is the best graph to display that data. You may disagree with that. For instance, in my case, I do not want a bar graph. Even though it displays the data, I want to show you how to make a line graph because we're going to be working with COPs, constant proportionalities, equations, and we can't do that if it's a bar graph. We need a line graph. So step one is here to go to chart type. So over here at chart type, right now it says column chart, bar graph essentially. We don't want that. So we click there, and then it's going to come up with a whole bunch of options. The first ones are the suggested ones. That's what the computer thinks you should use. But you may disagree. So I'm going to go down here where it says line, and I'm going to pick the line chart. All right, so here I have the line chart. It again doesn't look exactly how I want it to. First of all, it has Supermaxi, Tia, and Santa Maria at the bottom. I want 3 different lines to represent the 3 different supermarkets. And so again, on the charts, there are hundreds of options. And so you can really make it look the way you want to make it look. You just have to know what buttons to push. So in over here where it says chart editor, I'm going to go all the way down, and there's some options down here at the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the first box where it says switch rows and columns. I'm going to switch that, and so now it shows up a little bit better. It shows the 3 lines, right? It shows Supermaxi, it shows Tias, shows Santa Maria as 3 different lines with 3 different colors, which is what I wanted it to look like. But the problem is that down here, it says 0 peaches all the way over here. As we know with the proportional relationships, we should be starting at the origin in the graph. And so right now it is not doing what I want it to do. Again, we can make it do what we want to do. We just have to know what buttons to push or what to type into the computer. So I'm actually going to delete this. All you have to do is have the graph highlighted and push the delete button or the back button on your keyboard. Delete. It's not doing what I want. So what I'm going to do is up here, instead of peaches, I'm just going to write 0. So I'm just going to put the number 0, I'm going to put 4, and I'm going to put 10. Alright, so now we don't have the words peaches. All we have is Supermaxi, Tia, Santa Maria, and 0, 4, and 10, and the data. So now I'm going to do my chart again. So insert, chart. Again, it's come up with something I don't want. The computer has decided that the bar graph is the best. I don't want the bar graph. So I go here to chart type. I click it, and it gives me some options. So I scroll down to where it has the line chart, and I click that. Again, not what I want. So I have to go down here, and where it says switch rows and columns, I'm going to click that. And so this looks a little bit better. We have 3 lines. We have it starting from the origin, and we have the 3 supermarkets. What I want, though, is for the supermarkets to appear in the legend. So here in the key, we have blue, we have red, we have yellow, but we don't know which is which. We don't know which one's Supermaxi, we don't know which one's Tia, we don't know which one's Santa Maria. So again, on the options, I'm going to click Use Column A as headers. So I'm going to click that. And there it appears Supermaxi, Tia, and Santa Maria. So I know that the blue one's Supermaxi, the red one's Tia, and so on. So that tells me. Now that you have your graph and it shows up like you want, you have some options to customize it. So over here in the chart editor where it says customize, you click that, and here you have lots of different options for the axes, for the titles. So here I'm actually going to start with the titles. I want a title for my graph. So here in the options where it says chart and axis titles, all I do is click, and then I've got some options. So I put title text. I want to tell my readers what this is about. So I'm going to put a title for my graph. I'm going to put the price of peaches. Okay. So then when I push enter, if you push enter on your keyboard, it will then appear on here. Right? So chart title done. You can also change the font. You can change the size of the font. For right now, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to leave it as is. All right. Then we can go down to the horizontal axis or the vertical axis and put our labels on there. So again, I am going to here. This is not where the titles are. So let's go down to grid lines. If you don't know, you have to find it. Okay, you have to search for it. So grid lines, I do want to include a couple more grid lines. As you can see, it jumps from 0 to 2, but there's no line where 1 is. So I'm going to put in it's called minor grid lines. So here where it says grid lines, vertical axis, minor grid lines, okay, you have major and you have minor. So on minor grid lines, I'm going to put 1, okay? And so therefore, every odd number will appear with a grid line. So 1, 3, 5, etc. I also want to do this on the x-axis. So here I want to have some minor grid lines. So here we can choose the horizontal axis. And I am going to make, again, so that every odd number appears with a grid line. So that my graph, I can see a little bit better where the lines are passing through. All right, perfect. Let's see, vertical axis, is there anything we would like to change on there? It looks okay. The scale factor, all of that. Let's see, let's go back up to titles. All right, oh, here, this is where it was. So I wanted to put titles on my x-axis and my y-axis. I wasn't exactly sure how to do that, so I had to search a little bit through the options, and I found it. So here where it says chart and axis titles, I click there, and that's where I put my title for my graph. It says price of peaches. But what I can do is up here, where it says chart title, I can change it, and I can put the horizontal axis title. So here, my title for my horizontal axis is going to be peaches. Again, if you push enter, right, it should appear there. And I want to put on the vertical axis, on the y-axis, a title as well. So the title would be the cost of those peaches. So then it appears, again, you can change the fonts, you can change the text, the size, everything like that. So you have a lot of customization options, but don't get hung up on those. First, start by just making your graphs and make sure they look okay. Then work on if you want to do any sort of changes to the customization. Also, if you need to get back there, so for instance here, I only have the graph, I don't have the options to change anything. All you do is click on the graph, double click, and it will appear here. Okay, again, you just exit out if you don't want to see it. You can also move your graph. You don't have to have it in the spot where the computer put it. You can move it. You can also make it bigger or smaller, depending on what you want. And so that's how you make a graph using Google Spreadsheets.